Your video won't be live. No connection.
Hi guys, welcome.
Good morning.
I'm Kate.
I'm Shay.
I'm Rufus.
Woohoo!
Rufus back. Rufus. Woohoo!
Yeah.
So good to be back.
Good to have you back.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for joining us again today.
Yeah.
Hope you had an amazing week. I know that we all did.
Yeah.
And I think, what do we want to start? How do we want to start this morning?
I thought maybe we could start with just like an insight from our week. Just
Beautiful.
Something, because I know,
Sure.
I know for me this week is very much about, I definitely get caught up in the trying to learn more and the trying to be better, and I don't know, like believing that I have to be different before I'm happy or life is better, and I just, you know what, it's just an endless, like, you could just go on like that forever. And it's just not the idea. And I realised that it's just about being in the exact moment that you are and being grateful for whatever is happening and whatever is going on. And keeping things really simple. Just keeping things really, really simple. That was a really big lesson for me this week. It's not about, you know, not necessarily about doing anything extravagant or admirable, or I don't know, it's just about living simply, and yeah, so that was a really big lesson for me this week.
I think simplicity is such a great thing to aim for these days, with so much distraction with social media and TV and the news and all the events that we
Absolutely.
invited to.
It just gets too much and you just don't know what to do with it. I know for me, I just get so confused, and so simplicity is a big thing for me. Yeah.
And I think the message is simple. The message of love is a very simple message, but we've overcomplicated it.
Absolutely.
And that's, I guess, what the three of us are trying to do through this cluttery thing, is kind of shed a little bit of light and open some doors, perhaps, to help navigate you to the best you can possibly be.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be overcomplicated or really, really painful. And I think that's why people avoid maybe, you know, healing, or they think that it's going to be really painful or really complicated, or I know that's what it was like for me.
Yeah.
It's actually really simple.
Yeah, and your mind will make it as complicated as you want it to be. So the higher, you know, the more that your mind thinks about it, the worse it can become in terms of that we're bigger than our minds, I guess. Yeah. And that's really interesting that you had that week. I'm kind of wondering on an energetic level whether everyone has had that kind of week at the moment, because I noticed that for myself, this week has been a transitional period. It kind of feels like integration. It feels like such an expansion to this point that it felt like this week for me was integration of some key points, and I felt that on a physical level. So I felt a little tired and a little bit kind of blah. And I get it, guys, it's not a linear path. I think we've reached for the stars, and I think that's really cool. But don't expect that you have to have the rocket boosters on every moment of the day. Nor does the path, I think, go like that. And Kate and I were just talking about this before, about how actually it's a little bit more like a roller coaster. And we all go through it. And no matter how far advanced you are on your enlightenment journey, or whatever you might perceive that to be, you will have moments where you come to sort of I think to where you assimilate everything you've learned, and then you need that you need to reach that plateau to then leverage off that point into the next space. And so it's about honouring and allowing yourself to be and have those moments. And you know, you're a human being, have a bit of fun, go a little crazy. It is really simple. The message is really simple. And so that was, I really find it interesting that I've had a very similar week to yours, Kate. I think that's, what about you, Rufus? Have you been similar?
So my week theme, and I've met a few others in the same boat this week, is about being seen.
Okay. Wow. Rufus is being seen, people. He's being seen. He's got a bit of a story here. You have to share it now. You have to share it.
So in the last couple of months, the lead up where I work up in Emerald, I decided to do a little Digeridoo event up there for the mining communities. We've got a lot of depression, anxiety, suicide, health issues, and you know, just bring a little bit of mindfulness and awareness to go inwards. And the paper got a hold of it and put me on the front page in central Queensland.
He was seen, all right, people. He was seen.
So, and you didn't even orchestrate that, did you?
No. So it's about being seen, and being seen by people that we're uncomfortable being seen by, like our family or our work colleagues, or you know, some of our friends, whoever it might be. And it seems like we go through a plateau, through a thing in life where we follow our interest or our passion. I mean, every single person listening and in the world has a story to share and has a message and has something to teach someone.
Absolutely.
And we go through life and not playing, but not even realising we're being really safe.
Until we step off.
And until we get sick of the safety.
And that's really cool.
Or until it's pulled away from you.
Until it's pulled away from you, So it's just about having all of that stripped away and just being able to stand there and just be seen, you know.
And so how does it feel?
Scary as shit.
But what else does
Fucking
it feel?
terrifying.
Anything else?
But it's also very simple and pure.
Yeah, so once you go through that and you come on the other side, it's really liberating. It's a sense of freedom. It's like, okay, well, there's nothing else to hide.
And do people how do people respond to you showing yourself?
Yeah, or being showed.
Yeah.
Mostly supportive. Yeah, most people were supportive, and other people are doing things that they wouldn't have done. I'm like, you know, Rufus is doing it, I can do it. You know, there's people that have their own stuff going on.
There always will be.
And there always will be. And that's the thing, you can't please everyone.
No.
And you can't let anyone else's opinion of you stop you from following your dreams or your heart or sharing your story. Because people need to hear people's stories.
Yes.
Absolutely. And the win-win is that. The win-win in playing in this space is that you put yourself out there effectively for a message of love, for want of a better concept, and in doing so you actually become more whole and love yourself. So
more integrated.
Way more integrated. So it's a beautiful thing, the way that this works, is that if you can take a step in faith, then it will come back to you in multitude of gifts.
And that's it. The faith is the word. You could try and plot and plan and do this and do that.
Push.
Everything I do now, all the stuff I do with the Dig, I have not forced anything. It's just, I've just trusted that every step will be there.
And we don't need to force anything.
No.
We think we do and we just don't.
Exactly.
We
We kind of delude ourselves that it's sort of justifying our own self-being.
Yeah, it's still
I think with that, something that I really realised lately too, flowing on from what you said, Rufus, was people will always you'll never please everyone. And if you are, you're not being authentic, right?
You're people pleasing.
Yeah, absolutely. And everyone has their own filters. I have my own, you have yours, you have yours. It's just, I think it's important to remember that everyone is seeing you through their filter. It's got nothing to do with you.
There's no right or wrong.
No, and it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
It's absolutely just their filter. But if it feels, if you are coming from the right intention and you can feel it in yourself that it's the right thing, then it is. Doesn't matter if 1,000 people say it's wrong and no one agrees. It doesn't mean that it's wrong. So
Exactly. And there's no hurting yourself in terms of when you do feel the pain of people's responses, even though they might be minimum, because there will always be a component of that. But it's fine to just love yourself and accept yourself where you are. It's not. We're human beings, so we've been born and evolved in a social community dynamic. So of course we care. We do care what people think of us. But it's really about being inspirational, is really about stepping up and being true to your principles and your own integrity. I don't think there's much better thing that you can do in your life in terms of being true to yourself. It's really brave, it's really vulnerable, and that's exactly what Rufus has done. So congratulations, Rufus. That's awesome. Well done.
Yeah.
Really cool.
It's happening next Thursday. This Thursday.
I hope it's videotaped. Is it videotaped?
It'll
So
be
we can
videotaped.
share it, and Soul Space Radio can share it on our Facebook page.
Yeah, sure.
That'd be really cool. Love to
because I
see
think
that.
even if you're not a minor, you'll probably get stuff out of it, right? Like it's for anyone.
Yeah, for anyone,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does anyone have any questions? Is
Well,
any on Facebook want to type us a question?
We actually have a question from last week
Okay.
that we might answer first.
Sounds great.
Rufus, maybe we'll let you chime in on this one first, just because you haven't
Okay.
been here.
Okay.
Lee Evans on the Gold Coast. Her question is, I'm struggling to know which direction to take in regards to returning to work after a very long break of a few years. Some guidance and insight would be appreciated.
I've been in this place many, many times without wanting to know, it really comes down to the individual. I don't think anyone can say you should do this or that. I think you need to check in with what brings you the most joy. Not necessarily what's going to pay me the best or what should. I take the word should out and I replace it with the word want, because we should all over ourselves every day. Should I do this? Should I do that? No. It's like, what do I want to do? So Lee, I ask you the question, what do you want to do? And just take steps in that general direction. It doesn't have to be exactly that, but if it's on the way, like if you wanted your own business in some way, you could seek employment in that field. And once again, I think doing something is better than nothing, because strange things come from strange places.
True,
Yeah.
and it's not what you thought it was going to
I've worked underground in coal mining industry, and now I'm up there playing Digeridoo, and I would never have dreamed in a million years I would ever be doing that. So just kind of tap into your synchronicity a little, and every morning I do a little mantra, which is something like, I can't think of it now, but it's something like, I allow the synchronicity of today to bring what is needed, or something like that. So it takes away, it's more of a surrender and a trust. Yeah.
Or I see the direction I need to go and be clearly revealed to me immediately, or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Very cool. Where you're sort of connecting with a higher intelligence to kind of assist you, because it's a co-creation world, right? So, Lee, I guess all that I can add going on from what Rufus said, and it's really simple. I think Rufus put it in a nutshell really nicely, is that follow your joy, follow your fun. It's that simple. I think remuneration comes when you do that. Because when you love what you are doing, You are creating from an expansive energy, and it is predominantly an expansive universe. That is the one thing that remains true, I think, for every single living thing on this planet, is the opportunity to expand and live, experience more of life. So if you're doing that, then you're in the flow. You'll immediately attract whatever you need. So it's about being in high vibrational energies. Feelings lead. So how do you feel about what you want to do? And that will dictate where to next go. And then what happens is you have an awareness and an intention. With that intention, you can put it out there just like Rufus said. You can kind of do it in prayer format, whichever way or whatever you believe. And then you can take a step forward in faith, because interesting events and synchronicities will happen. I don't think that any of the three of us kind of really know where we're going to end up. It's really just about taking those steps. And neither should we, because, right, I get it that we co-create. There's a higher intelligence. How on earth would we know how to get to where we want to be? I think just like Rufus said, intuitively feel into that space, what feels good for you. Absolutely. Put some action in place. Put it out there, put the intention out there, things and events, people, things will come to you.
Yeah, I think being open to things that you maybe haven't even imagined yet is really important, not limiting yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
And also not being in a race to make it happen, I think.
Yeah.
Being patient and present as well. But I feel for you, Lee, I just get like a sense of... I feel like volunteering comes up really strongly. Even if you start volunteering somewhere and that could lead to something else, I also feel like it's going to get you out into the community and help you to meet people. And maybe a little bit later down the track, I'm not sure if it's now, but maybe some study. Just something completely new. And I don't think it's something that you've even thought of yet, which is why you may not be starting it right now, but yeah, some study in a field that maybe you have never even thought of or have been interested in before. But I feel like for now, volunteering and just sharing yourself and sharing the gifts that you have, even if it is on a volunteering basis, it feels so good. Feels definitely like.
Can I tell a quick story about that, since you mentioned volunteering?
Yeah.
When I first moved to the Gold Coast, I had no idea what I was wanting to do. Well, I did. I was trying to do coaching and blah, blah, blah. And this fundraiser came up for the Hamlin Fistula to raise $10,000 and go to Africa. Well, this is the last thing I need to do is try and find a way to raise 10 grand in a city I've never even been to. I didn't know anyone here. Yeah. And I went, one thing led to another, and I got covered in chills when I met someone like, I've got to do it. I've got to do it. So I did it. I went on this crazy fundraising campaign. I met all sorts of people, and I'd never played Dig in front of anyone before.
Wow.
So I met someone, and she said, yes, Julie. She said, we can do a sound healing, Rufus, and we'll raise some money. I'm like, what the hell's a sound healing? Can we swear on the radio?
Oh, well,
well, we have different ways around the media.
We apologise in advance. We're kind of that way inclined.
Okay. Anyway, I took this challenge and we started doing a sound healing, and people came and we raised some money, and I went to Africa and went and visited the villages.
You actually went to Africa?
Went to Africa.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
We raised $225,000 as a group.
Wow.
And
that's amazing. Congratulations. That's awesome.
And when we got back, people said, when's the next Dig sound healing? I'm like, they're done. We're finished. I'm like, no, we want another one. So I rang the crew and we did it again, and we've just kept going. And then people said, hey, do you do private sessions? I'm like,
wow. So now it all unfolded.
That's how it unfolded.
Oh, see.
Volunteering.
So
you just don't know.
With no expectation of any of that.
It was just about giving.
Yeah.
No, but the other thing too is that's really important to understand is that when you volunteer, you're feeling good about yourself. Yeah. So when you feel good about yourself, again, feelings lead, it's expansive energy. Then it brings in things that vibrate, raises your frequency. So then you will start attracting people, events and things that are in synchronicity to the way that you're vibrating, or to the level that you're vibrating. So feeling good about yourself is fundamentally.
But I think there's a point where volunteering doesn't serve.
No, and it could lead to the next step.
Yeah, the next step. I think
it's
if you
just about initially
spend all your time giving,
Yeah.
there's nothing left.
Yeah.
So there needs to be some discernment around
Absolutely.
Being open to
that. There was a
receiving.
question on the live video. Can you see that?
So we have a question here that was posted on our last video, Shay.
Yeah.
So we
There's
might.
one now on our current one on the phone.
So this was just posted.
Okay.
Okay,
It
cool.
was just on the old video, but I will check the new video
Okay.
after this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, Lee, we hope that helped you, and we'd love to know what happens. with
Yeah,
that.
Lee, can you keep us posted? We'd love to get some
Yeah.
feedback on soulspaceradio@bigpond.com.
Yeah.
And if we can provide any additional support or any further queries, please come back to us. Really love to know how it goes.
Okay, so we have a question from Debbie Henderson Slater. Hi, Kate and Shay and Rufus.
Hi.
Do you have any messages for me in regards to the romance department over the next 12 months, please? And do you see me getting any paid work?
Over to Shay.
Okay, well, what I would normally do, Debbie, is that correct? Kate?
Yeah, Debbie.
Debbie, what I would usually do is I would ask, I would sort of intuitively go into that space with you, but I'll do it by myself. So just to clarify, we're asking a couple of things. First of all, in the romance area in the next 12 months.
Yep.
And what was the second question?
And do you see me getting any paid work?
Getting any paid work?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just go into an intuitive space, and then while I'm doing that, maybe one of you could talk about generally, maybe if there's any limitations in terms of beliefs around that sort of thing. I don't know, you could talk about romance. Both of you have been in romances before. Surely you've got something to offer. And let me just get in contact with higher intelligence, and I will be back. I'll just unplug and I'll be back. It sounds really weird.
No. Go for it.
I can just say a couple of words. Treading carefully here.
Just go for it.
On the romance department, I know this sounds a little bit, cliche or whatever, but the first relationship you need is with yourself.
Absolutely.
I think the first person to be comfortable in your own space with and feel good and enjoy your own company and do things that nourish you, like some self, whatever it is, go for a walk or just some really self-nurturing things.
Treat yourself how you want to be treated.
Yeah, so you want to raise your vibe to a place where that match can come in at that level. Yeah. And that it depends what you're looking for. What is the question?
In regards to the romance department in the next 12 months. So I think adding on to Rufus, it comes to your intention for wanting that romantic relationship as well. So yeah, for me it's about not because I feel like I need someone to complete me or because I want them to make me feel good about myself. It definitely comes back to asking yourself, and maybe you are just really ready to share your life with someone, and I think if that's the case, then the right person will be there when they're meant to. I absolutely 100%
Synchronicity.
believe that. It's just you'll be with who you're meant to be with. But Shay, are you
I
ready
do
to go?
actually have. I've got some intuitive stuff for you, Debbie.
Yep.
So intuitively, in terms of the romance, I'm really intrigued about. Well, the energy is very intrigued about 12 months because that is quite a specific time frame that you set. So understanding what is why. Well, the energy is intrigued about 12 months. So you've set an intention there, and the energy is prepared to assist you in whatever your intention may be. There is, however, a sense of creating I guess because you put the 12-month thing, it does specify an action focus, which does indicate a kind of male energy involved. And so you understand that the left brain is logical and by esoterically or mystically it's termed as male, and the right-hand side of the brain is creative and intuitive. And so when it comes to anything, I would suggest leading with your intuitive self, and then the male comes behind to support that. And there's a multitude of reasons. That's usually a high vibrational energy and more aligned with achieving what you want. So if I can just cast the 12 months aside, because that's really indicating to me that you want it to happen and you're pushing it. And that's coming from a space that you're really not, it's a space where you're really not feeling into who you are. So what I mean by that is kind of Rufus and Kate intuitively have answered that, and just with your intuition is that perhaps there's a love-based thing within yourself that is putting a time constraint on you to find love by. And when we would suggest that the last thing that you want to attract is a codependent relationship. So we would suggest that you raise your vibration, because to understand if you're going to push out there for something that you want within a certain time frame, then you may well attract that, but it may not serve your best needs because it might be a codependent relationship. So we would suggest that you expand your energy and come from a very loving place, and just look within yourself in terms of, it's difficult because I can't talk to you, but I would love to, Debbie, if you'd like to send me an email, I can maybe provide you with some more clarity. We could do a Skype session. But really, I would suggest, I just feel in your space that actually having a look at any sort of external beliefs about romance and love that you might have, because you're coming at it from a very male logic space, and I would suggest to you that love is a combination or a balance of both female and male. So, question is, do you love yourself? Would be a significant question, and I think if you want to come back to me, I'm happy to work with you on that. The second thing is about the paid work. Now again, interesting, a very action orientated question, Debbie. So it does suggest that you're quite a lot, like your balance between your female and male energies, and look, the easiest way to balance them is through connection. So I'm not too sure if you have what your perception of God or source or universe is, but I would suggest that a prayer space or dedicating some time and space, nature is naturally aligned to universe or high energies, and going into that space and sort of consciously looking at some of the decisions and things that you've made in life, because there will be some patterns and loops that clearly have not worked for you in the past, and actually addressing those first before any other considerations would I suggest put in great space for attracting the very best things to you. So it's really about going back to basics and consciously asking yourself about, well, look, what do I not like, and what do I want in my life, and from that basis look at, well, why have I created what I have created to this point.
Can this might help you, Shay.
Yeah.
I've just noticed with your birthday, Debbie, so if you look at the Diamond Light numerology system, which my mum developed, and it's just incredible. You are a 444.
Oh, okay.
She has,
so,
you have 3 4s,
right.
and 4 is the soul.
Yeah.
And I don't know a lot, my mum could definitely say more because she's a 4 soul, but you're a 444. And from my understanding, my little understanding of the 4, is that it's all about living from the soul and listening to your soul. Like, so I feel like for me, it's about you really sitting down and getting down and dirty with your own soul.
Yeah.
And figuring out what it is that it wants, and not coming from that head mind space.
Yeah.
And that 4 energy is so strong that will be there instantly. It, like, you'll be able to hear it instantly.
And it's 3 dynamic of the same number. If I can lead on correctly, Kate, is quite an intense. That is extremely intense energy.
Yes, to have the.
So it's amplified.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So I can tell that you're in your headspace. So get into the heart. Nature's great. Anything high vibrational, dancing, music. Actually, Rufus could play you a little song. Actually, maybe we could give you a song gift, and that could, with the intention is to come through and expand you and feel good in that space. So anything that will raise your vibration, anything that you love to do would be a really good thing to raise your vibration, get more heart-centric, come into the heart. Meditation's a great thing. Having a bath with, candles and anything that you enjoy will raise vibration and connect you, because we're talking about connection here. Soul, you're driven by connection.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's maybe why you're not sure about anything, is because it's coming from the head and the mind, and it's just taking you maybe to dead ends or not giving you any kind of answers. Whereas you tune into that soul space, then it'll just, all the answers will be there.
Yeah.
And you'll intuitively be able to feel where to go, what to do.
Yeah. That kind of thing. And can I just say, leading on from Kate's advice, which I totally agree with, is that all good things will come to you with your intention. Your intention is really clear and really specific. So connecting with the heart, connecting with that soul space, look, it's all going to come to you, very clear in terms of what you want. It's just about the connection and, connection inside.
So we have, are you going to do a quick...
Is there...
We do have some callers on the switchboard, so
yeah,
maybe we could end it.
That would be great.
To take us out.
Yeah.
That would be lovely.
So thank you, Debbie. I hope we've answered your questions, and please come back to us on the soulspaceradio@bigpond.com if you have any further feedback.
Okay,
Cool, thank you.
so we're going to go to the switchboard. The telephone number ending in 4252. Hello, who are we speaking with? Hello.
Hello.
Hi, this is Catherine.
Hi, Catherine.
Hey, Catherine.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Hi.
How can we?
Good, thank you.
Fantastic. How can we help you, Catherine?
I was wondering if you could tell me how you see me working with Kyle. If he'll, take me on, work with me on my projects, and how we would, work together. Like, would we get along?
Okay, so this is so you've got so let me clarify. You've got an opportunity to work with someone that you know quite well, and to work on some projects with this person.
Right, yeah, we've recently met. But you see, I like, what he can bring to the table, and how he carries himself too. I like, and I'm just wondering, if you see us connecting, working on projects together.
Okay, so this is really interesting. So, Catherine, your intuitive response is that you like this person.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. So the interesting thing is the soul knows everything. The soul is whole within all of us and knows everything anyway. And what's really interesting to me is that you are an intuitive person. Whether you realize it or not, you've intuitively made an assessment about him, and your intuition is never really wrong. And I would suggest that you lead with that. So you've pretty much answered your own question. I can feel into the space with you. Can I just ask you to do something with me? Do you mind, we'll just take 3 deep breaths of white light into the heart, breathing out of the heart space. We can do that 3 times. And the last breath is just expand that all throughout the body. And the reason I do this, Catherine, is because it helps me to relax, it helps you to relax, and then I'll seek permission to talk to your soul. So are you happy to do that?
Sure.
Fantastic.
Sure, yes.
Fantastic. So Unfortunately, I don't have the most dulcet tones for meditation practice, but anyway, here we go. So breathing in, just bright white light coming from the top chakra down into your heart and breathing out through the heart space. 1, 2, and then 3. When you breathe it in, just let that white light go into your heart and then expand all through your soul. Expand, expand, expand. And do I have permission to talk to your soul?
Yes.
Fantastic. I'll just okay, I'll just intuitively feel into this space. Wow, well, this is going to be quite practical. So I think it's a great space for you to go into. Intuitively, energy is 110% in support of this endeavour and working in these projects, but it's caveating that comment with just suggesting that you put in place a wee bit of practical, pragmatic approach to, we sense that you fully don't trust because you don't have a pre-existing relationship with this person. So suggesting that you put in place a one-page document just to cover roles and responsibilities and financial aspects, and that both of you sign that. So just a very straightforward one-page document to caveat roles and responsibilities, and from that space there'll be implicit trust between the two of you who can go on and co-create together using that as a basis. We feel that it may go on to a multitude of projects, so we would just suggest that you honour it now. You honour the relationship now by setting just some. We don't want you to over-prescribe to a logic-based. We suggest stay in the flow. We like how you have stayed in the flow in this relationship, but we would just suggest bringing the male into the action-focused side of things and putting in place a one-page document for both of you to sign with roles and responsibilities, what the outputs, the how you're going to split costs and revenue, and how you wish to manage any future relationship moving forward. So we would encourage you to do that and fully enter into this relationship with goodwill and intention, because we see it as a fantastic relationship for you, and you're coming in from a really good space. So we wish you much luck. We feel there's much success here. Any further questions, Catherine?
Thank you.
Any further questions?
Yes, it broke up a little bit, I'm sorry. Am I to make this document, or will he prepare it and give it to me?
Well, I suggest
I'm
that
sorry.
sorry, Catherine, I suggest that you take responsibility for the content of the document, so you do it together, but you would sit down together, but if it was, I would suggest that you sit down and determine what you want out of this relationship in terms of what is the outcome that you want, and you document roles and responsibilities, and then you would bring that to him to sit down and discuss together. So, but I would suggest that you take the original, because you take the original responsibility for compiling the content, because I've had the conversation, the energy is directed to you. When the energy communicates with a soul, is that individual soul. It is never concerned with any other souls outside of that. It's not had, the ultimate thing is freedom of choice, and it's not had a communication with anyone other than yourself. So intuitively, that would be you that would take the lead on what you would see as the ideal outcome, and then documenting how you could best to get there by the roles and responsibilities and giving clarity. Is that...
Thank you.
Can I say something quickly, Catherine?
Thank you so much.
Just one comment from me is make a space, maybe even when we play some Dig later, and release some doubt just with your breath. Just release the doubt. And it also seems like you're looking for certainty around this, and sometimes there just isn't any.
Trust.
The only certainty sometimes is change. So it's about being comfortable and trusting in the process and releasing the need for certainty and releasing some doubt.
Absolutely.
And just having some fun.
Yeah.
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 And
Oh, wow, yeah,
That's
yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
we feel that the document will provide you with that, with some certainty, but like Rufus says, nothing's guaranteed. So we feel that there's much success in this endeavour, but you're intuitively like the person. It's the self-doubt aspect that Rufus mentioned is very clear. But do the document, will give you, again, it will cement the faith to continue on.
Yeah, and I think, sorry, to add on to Rufus, that was perfect, is like taking away the expectations around it and just feeling into, you really like this person and you love what he's about, but also just trusting that if you are meant to work together, then you will. And also asking yourself if you feel that you deserve to work with this person, because it seems like you think quite highly of him. And releasing any doubt around that as well. And just allowing it to unfold and not try to control it. And just, be excited about it and know that whatever happens...
We are excited about this. We are excited. Please, can you keep us posted, Catherine? We'd love to hear how it all goes. Please keep us posted on soulspaceradio@bigpond.com. Thank you so
Catherine.
much.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, all of you.
Thanks, Catherine. Bye.
Thank you. Many blessings.
Many blessings back.
Bye.
Love that. I love that.
So we have another question on Facebook. Destiny Wisdom.
Beautiful name.
Hello, my name is her name is Michelle, and her date of birth is the 27th of June. I'm a Gemini baby. 1972, and she's from how do you say it? Is it San Jose? Is that how you say it? Or is it Silent J?
Forgive us. I'm not too sure.
In California.
California. Yay! Yay!
General guidance for spiritual growth, please. Michelle is asking.
Ooh.
Every day, wake up and breathe.
Keep it simple. Gee, we've all. So hang on, just clarify that question again. So general guidance.
General guidance for spiritual growth.
For spiritual growth.
Can I just say, and I think this adds on to what I was kind of getting at, like my lesson for this week was, it's not necessarily about growth. It's not that you have to be better or different. It's actually just about being more yourself and connecting with who you are and what it is that you're about, what brings you joy, what kind of life you want to live. I think that is going inward.
The basis of any type of spiritual growth is finding some stillness every day.
Absolutely.
And just, even if your thoughts are getting carried away, just be with yourself and focus on your breath if you need something to focus on. Listening to sounds around you and just being present is, to me, the number one start of any spiritual growth. In saying that, my biggest spiritual growth has come from the effing pain.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The catastrophes and traumas and stuff like that. It's not what happens to you, it's how you see what happens to you and how you respond and how you can find the gifts or what life's trying to show you in those challenging moments.
Yeah.
So look at some things back on your life in a different way as well, ponder things a bit differently.
Look, I think that's a fantastic question, and I think we're all a bit stunned, and I'll tell you why we were, because it's very different for every person. I think it's a very individualised journey, and there's a multitude of ways that you can. And taking in mind what Kate's saying about growth, I guess to me it's more like spiritual evolution, which is experience-based as well as you can use tools externally, but again it's about going, as Kate said, going inside internally is the number one place to go. It's really, I think, about your relationship with yourself and what you perceive as higher intelligence, and how do you best contemplate, because I think this is really interesting.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
We're just having a few technical. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Shay.
No, that's fine.
I'm just trying to.
What's going on?
Yeah. It just is replaying.
It's all good, listener. We're at week 3, so we're evolving, and that is what we are doing. So you see, this isn't so the energy is just showing. Well, yeah, you can continue to evolve, but this is a great exercise in evolving.
I'm not sure why this is happening.
Okay,
Can we shut it down?
Let's shut down first.
Can we shut it down?
Yeah. Okay, so sorry about that. We
Sorry.
can probably continue on.
Sorry, Michelle. Yeah. Go for
Anyway,
it.
so Michelle, I think it's a very individualist journey. And what is the place where you feel peace and you can help? That helps. What is it that helps you go within to determine your relationship with yourself and your soul and with connection? And that could be nature, it could be music. I think, we've talked about meditation. It could be a whole lot of things that help you to do that. It's an exploration of yourself and finding what motivates you, what you love, that exhilaration. Feelings. It's all about feelings, feeling the bliss.
I also find it's a mix of going inside and going outside. Yeah. So seeking that wisdom or guidance from teachers, or
connecting.
Yeah, but
reading some books.
Yeah, but I truly believe that you go in, and what happens is as you raise your vibration with going within, you will attract everything that you need to evolve further externally.
Yeah.
So I think it begins there. That would be my. That certainly played out in my life. Now, as I said before, I think we were all hesitant because I think it's an individual journey for every single person, and so appreciate that we can give you our advice from our experience, but it can be very different, and it can be traumatic experiences that can bring you to that level as well. So
I think it's important to remember also that we're humans, and we're here to have a human experience, and we're here to experience things, and
which is the spiritual growth.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I think we can come to, I know for me personally, I come to so many more true realizations when I am not trying and I'm actually just living and just,
Yeah, can I come in with that, Kate? Yeah. Because, ironically, we are called human beings, not human doings. So that is really interesting. Sorry, Kate.
No. It's so true. So I think there needs to be, that doesn't mean sit down and do nothing all the time and just be, but I think when we do go within, then we take more inspired action, which is something we've talked about before, instead of just doing things because we think we have to, or out of fear, or we just feel the need to do it, so we do it. And definitely the more quiet we become, the clearer we see things.
Yeah.
And I just want to add, Michelle, I've just done your birth date and the numbers, and you're a 99 and a 6. So all your energy is up here, which means your mind is probably wanting to grasp at things for spiritual growth, maybe. Like, how do I become more, spiritual, or I want to understand it, or intellectually, or my mind wants to know, where it's so important for you to, like as Shay said, to come into feeling and come down into the heart space and the soul space and feel your way through things instead of thinking your way through things.
And if you've never tried meditation, I find that a fantastic space. And I mean, when I say meditation, it can be as simple as sitting in quiet space. Yeah. I know there's a lot of confusion out there about meditation because, there seems to be like you've got to quiet the mind and you've got to do this and that. I don't believe there's any fixed, fast methodology to it. It's really an individual thing.
Can I add to that something that's helped me? Because I've had a love-hate relationship with meditation too, and sometimes it just feels like a chore, which makes me not want to do it. Meditation is actually just like giving yourself space. It's an act of self-love, and having no expectations, and having a quiet mind, or having epiphanies, or you know, coming out of 20 minutes and knowing what you want to do with your life. It's actually just allowing yourself to sit and be with no expectations. There might be mind chatter, but that's cool. It's actually just a really, it's an act of self-love, giving yourself that time to just, be still. That's really helped me to actually want to sit down and meditate. Yeah, instead of seeing it as I have to sit here in silence and I have to quiet all my thoughts, and if I don't, it means I'm not, you know, or it puts the pressure on and it makes me not want to do it. So,
I hope that's answered your question.
Yes.
Yeah, just experiment. There's no real right or wrong way here. Just get out there, have some fun, and experiment with life.
And it's different for everyone. We all learn in different ways, and we all grow in different ways. So.
But we'd really love to be part of your journey, and if you could share anything that you found, or that would be fantastic.
So we've only got about 6 minutes left, so we might get some dig in, if that's cool.
Ooh, yeah.
Rufus.
Is there another caller? Or is that...
No, that's us.
That's us.
Yes.
Cool.
So would you like to set the scene?
Well, you could do that, Rufus.
I could do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So well, I really think we should incorporate some of was it Michelle's commentary before?
Yeah.
And,
just releasing the doubt through the prayer.
Catherine. Yep.
Yeah.
And was it Michelle that was right at the beginning in terms of talking about romance and all
so Debbie.
So Debbie.
Yeah.
So a little bit of feminine. Oh, can you bring some feminine in?
Definitely
Some
can.
feminine flow.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So the earth is the feminine, so we can bring in that earthen inch. You breathe down into the earth. And just let the mind go. And just breathing in and out through the heart.
Rufus. That was such an honour to have that experience. That was beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you for listening. Do you want to mention the buzz?
Thank you so much for listening. Yeah, so did you want to take away on the buzz?
Sure.
Yeah.
Shay and I have been working on a project called The Buzz, and we have some dig similar to that, but it's been recorded with in what's the word? With nature.
Yeah, it's co-creating with
Co-creating
nature.
with nature. So we've got some crickets that were recorded just outside here.
Yeah. So we live in rainforest in Queensland. We're very blessed in terms of where we live. So you can find that recording. It's actually co-created with nature, but actually there's a strong element of connection direct with source. So we'd love you to listen to it. Love to get the feedback. That is available on bandcamp.com.
Just do a search for Earth Song Healing.
And it's The Buzz. There's a
The
couple
Buzz.
of different versions there. One's longer than the other. Go and have a listen to it, guys. That'd be fantastic. Next week we've got an amazing show. Unfortunately, Rufus won't be with us. We've got a beautiful young lady called Belle Owen, who's a good friend of mine and Rufus's, and she's going to be coming and joining Kate and I, and she's going to sing us a song, I believe. So we're well blessed. Yeah. Love these musicians. Wish I could do this, people. Wish I could do this.
And if you're after any further guidance or support, we're all available for individual sessions as well. So contact us through the Soul Space Radio Facebook page, and we'll direct you to where you need to go. Yeah. And tune in same time next week.
Fantastic. Love you guys. Honoured to have you as an audience.
Yeah.
Bless, bless, bless. Thank you so much.
And just so you know, just by asking questions, you're actually helping everyone else, because I think the answers can apply to so many different situations.
Yeah. So true, Kate.
So it's
true.
really, it's really great to have you call in and share your experiences. And we will catch you next week.
Love you lots.
See ya.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, Facebook.
Bye, Kate's friends.
Stop this.
How do I stop? Do I stop this, Kate?
Yeah.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Which one do I do? Oh, not now fitting.
I don't know how to stop it.
Oh.
There's no button.
Is it here? Live.
And then
Off. Here.
You guys okay? What's going on?
we can't
Are we
stop
still
it.
live?
Usually don't need to.
Can't stop it.
I need my glasses, Rufus.
Uber Steve says hi. Hey Uber
Hi,
Steve.
Uber Steve.
I cannot turn it off.
What did you...
Hi everybody.
Hi, Bruce. Shout out to Bruce. I see you all here.
Maybe because when you stop it, it gives you the option to do other shit.
Oh, hang on. What's down here?
Oh, finish. Oh, it's under
That's
the
where you couldn't
messages.
see it.
Damn it.
Oh, no.